you just like to catch me reading? Welcome to Storytime. I was just reading The Hobbit, another one of my favorites by J.R.R. Tolkien. Welcome. I suppose we should have story time. Well, as a reminder, we're talking about books again. I'm talking about authors and illustrators. An author writes the words, an illustrator colors the pictures. We're talking about another author named Anne Rockwell today. Well, I suppose I should go get her books. I'll be right back. Ugh. Welcome back to my big comfy chair. Welcome to Story Time. I, of course, am Miss Hannah. And as we said in the intro, we're talking about authors and illustrators. We're talking about Miss Anne Rockwell. Miss Rockwell likes to write a lot of books about experiences and about holidays. So we're going to start with a couple experience books, and then we're going to do something fun. And then we're going to do maybe two more stories, and then I have a very special activity for us. I think you're going to like it. So, I've got two quick books for us. I'm going to show you both. I've got Zooday and Hiking Day. Which one do you think we should start with? I like the zoo, so I think I want to start with Zooday. Is that okay with you? This is Zooday by Anne Rockwell, and it's illustrated by her daughter, Lizzy. Isn't that fun? They work together. On a Sunday, Saturday, I go to the zoo with my mother, my father, and my sister Lucy. It's my very first time there. Lucy's too. My father buys a ticket for each of us and a bag of popcorn to share. While we look at the map, I can hear the roars and the howls and the chitter and the songs and the cries and the squawks. I hold my father's hand tightly because the roars make me a little nervous. Can you see all the different animals on the map? Do you have a favorite animal? I have lots of favorite animals. I don't think my favorite animal's on here. I like otters, and I don't think they're on here. But I like sea lions, too. Oops. First, we go to the jungle house, and we say hello to the monkeys. Can you say hello to the monkeys? Can you act like a monkey? Woo, woo, woo. Next, we visit Gorilla Forest. The big gorilla comes right up to the window. She stares at me so hard. I feel like I'm at the zoo and she's the visitor. At the African plain, we find a mother elephant and her baby. The baby elephant sticks very close to its mother. There are funny-looking ostriches and zebras and giraffes munching leaves off the trees. Do you see all of them? There is the ostrich and the zebra and the giraffe. In the grassland building, I could see the lion with the yellow mane. He looks sleepy and quiet, but all of a sudden he opens his mouth and roars. It must be his nap time, says Lucy. I bet he's telling us to shh and let him sleep. Then we visit the reptile house. We see a giant boa constrictor and a tiny coral snake. The coral snake is pretty but very poisonous. There's a turtle swimming in his tank. It's a painted turtle. We walk along a shady path where the polar bears live. Lucy loves polar bears. She has a big stuffed animal polar bear at home, and it's her favorite toy. Do you have a favorite toy? We love to watch the polar bears in their underwater dance. We could watch them all day, but my father finally says, it's almost time. Let's go. We hurry over to the big pond where the sea lions live. They're climbing on rocks and sliding off, and they're barking and splashing and grunting. Lucy laughs. They sound like Roxy. Roxy's our pet beagle. I laugh too. This page. When the zookeeper comes to feed them, the sea lions gather around, barking even louder. She throws a fish up in the air. A sea lion catches it and slaps a fin on the rock. Another catches the fish and dives underwater. Now they're making me hungry, I tell my mom. Me too, she says. We sit at a picnic table and unpack our lunch. Just as we finish, I hear a whistling sound. What's that, I wonder? We follow the sound to the birdhouse, but the birds aren't in cages. They're flying all over and all around us, but they don't fly out the door. Lucy and I hold up small cups of nectar. A parrot stands on my shoulder and takes a sip. There he is. I wish I could bring him home, but we can't bring the animals, any of the animals we've seen. Just the same, Dad buys us 2 balloons, one with a polar bear for Lucy and one with a parrot for me to remember our day at the zoo. The end. The second book in this duo is called Hiking Day, and it's also by Anne Rockwell and illustrated by her daughter Lizzy. All right, let's read this one. Today, my mother, father, and I are going to climb Hickory Hill. That's the mountain I see from my window. It looks like a mountain to me, but everybody calls it Hickory Hill. Do you see it? I put on sturdy sneakers, find my floppy hat, and fill my water bottle. The ride from our house to Hickory Hill takes about 20 minutes. As we drive, I see fewer and fewer houses and more tall trees. Look at all the trees. As soon as we park the car, we check the map to see which trail we'll follow. Trails are like paths cut through the woods. We choose the red one. It's my favorite color. Here's where they are, and they can take different paths. They have chosen the red trail to go up and around. Which one would you choose? The minute we step onto the trail, we are surrounded by tall trees. We can't see the sky. The ground is covered in leaves and ferns. It's like the inside of my mother's terrarium. It's so quiet. I can hear my sneakers crunching on the ground. Crunch, crunch, crunch. As we climb higher up Hickory Hill, a fat toad leaps in front of us. Ribbit, ribbit, he says. I kneel down to look at it. His colors match the floor of the woods and the tree bark. Do you see him? He's camouflaging. Hey, says my father. Where's the red trail marker? Uh-oh, says Mom. Where could it be? Are we lost, I wonder? We look around the tree trunks. Then we notice a prickly porcupine climbing up a tree. Do-do-do-do-do. As she moves to the trunk, I see a red marker. I found it. The porcupine was hiding it. Isn't that silly? We begin hiking ahead. I hear a tap, 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 tap. It sounded like someone using a hammer. A little chipmunk puts a hickory nut in her mouth and scurries through the leaves, getting ready for winter. Do you see something that's do you see something that's tapping over here? The woodpecker makes that sound. And there's the red trim and marker right there. They're on the red trail. The tap, 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 tap gets louder. My mother points up. I see a woodpecker making a hole. He's looking for insects hiding inside, she tells me. He uses his beak to make the hole bigger and finds good things to eat. Bugs? Yuck, says Dad and I. We see some yellow mushrooms and some red berries growing out of a bush. But that beautiful, friendly toad is gone. Maybe he'll hike down Hickory Hill instead of hiking up with us. See all the beautiful plants and fungi? Soon we stop for a drink. All of a sudden, I know someone is looking at me. Who's looking at her? I slowly turn to see a deer with wide antlers. He leaps away so fast that no one sees him but me. The more we walk, the more I notice. The trees are not so tall. The ground is rockier. Now I can see bits of blue sky and even an airplane flying across the sky. There's not many trees on top of mountains. Suddenly the ground is below my feet isn't woodland. It's a big, flat rock. We're at the summit. That's the top. My father tells me the top of Hickory Hill. We did it, I say. We all sit down on a sunny and warm rock, and guess who jumps up to be with us? That big, friendly, fat toad. He came up the mountain too. The end. Put my book down. Let's go do a special activity, and you can tell me some of your favorite places to go. Let's go. Some fun activities they do in Miss Rockwell's books are different activities we can do all together. Like they go to the zoo. Do you like to go to the zoo? Let's imagine our favorite animal from the zoo. Can you think of your favorite animal from the zoo? You do yours first. That's great. One of my favorite animals is an otter. I'll pretend to be an otter. Ready? We go. I'm swimming like an otter. Did you know otters hold hands? So I'm going to pretend to be an otter and hold hands and sleep. All right. Now you do one. Ready? Oh, you did such a good one. I loved it. Another one is my favorites. I like the sea lions like they did. It goes, arr, 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 arr. Oh. All right. Now, another one we read about is they go hiking. Do you like to go hiking? Let's go on an adventure with me. Ready? Up. Through the trails. Okay. Up. Take a break. It's hard work. All right. Up again. Okay. All right, I need a drink break. Ready? Go, 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 go. Oh. Woo! All right. Hey, do you see that there? Do you see that? It's a deer like they saw. Do you see it? Oh, you hear it? I bet that's a woodpecker. Let's see if we can see it. Oh, there it is. You see it up there? All right, what else? What other activities can we do? We can go to the pool. Let's pretend to go to the pool. All right, we're going to swim. Show me your swimming. Do you dive at the pool? Can you show me your dives? Ready? Show me. Oh, you're so good. Let me show you mine. Ready? Do you have a water slide at your pool? We have one at our pool. Ready? Watch me. It goes. Oh, you're so good. Let's go read some more stories. Oh, here we are back in the big comfy chair. We're going to read another duo books. Miss Rockwell likes to do other experience books where she takes you to different places. There's a hardware store and a supermarket and so many other ones. But I have a couple today. I have Library Day and At the Firehouse. These are two places people like to go. I think we'll read At the Firehouse first. This one is just story and pictures by Anne Rockwell, kind of like Dr. Seuss. Ready? Here we go. On Visitor's Day, Jason couldn't wait to visit the firehouse. He loved fire engines. On the big day, his friend Camilla was there too. Shiny red fire engines were parked in front of the firehouse, and there were plenty of balloons. "Come on," said Captain Jack. Everyone followed him upstairs. "This is where we wait for the alarm to ring," Captain Jack said. "We read, watch TV, play cards, sleep, lift weights, and cook. We always have good things to eat." Firefighters passed out lemonade and cookies shaped like fire engines. Here's the lemonade, and here are some cookies that are shaped like fire engines. Suddenly, an alarm rang so loudly that Jason covered his ears. "Don't worry," said Captain Jack. "It's not a real fire. We just want to show you what we do if there were. Everything we need to fight fires has a place, and everything is in its place. We can't waste time looking around for what we need." What are they going to do first? Do you see them? They're going to slide down the pole. He slid down the pole, then jumped in his pants and boots and coat. Jason didn't know how it was possible to get dressed so fast. How fast can you get dressed? He wished he could slide down. He could slide down the pole too. He imagined how much fun that would be. It would be fun, wouldn't it? "Our clothes are fireproof and waterproof so we won't catch on fire or get wet," said Captain Jack. The stripes glow in the dark so we can see each other in the smoke and darkness." Lieutenant Maria said, "We also have hard helmets. When we get in the fire, in case something hard falls on our heads, we wear hoses connected to air tanks on our backs so we don't bring smoke. We pull down our helmet's fireproof ear flaps. He had lots of protective equipment. Captain Jack patted the shiny side of one shiny red engine proudly. "This is engine number 1. Our pumper," he said. "It's full of water and hoses and all the other things we need to put out fires." 4 other firefighters climbed into the seats at the back of the cab. You see there? Here they are back here. Lieutenant Maria climbed in the driver's seat of engine number 1. Captain Jack sat beside her. Jason wished he could sit in the fire engine too. He wished he could look at everything from the driver's seat. Here are all the things in that fire truck. Look at all those things. There's so many different things that are needed to fight fires. "This is engine number 2. Our ladder truck," Captain Jack said. "See the extension ladder folded up on top of it?" Captain Jack climbed the wide steps that led up to the top of engine number 2. Then he worked the controls. The extension ladder unfolds and begins to grow up, up, up into the sky. Then he started to climb. Jason watched him go higher and higher and higher above the roof of the firehouse, above the tall tree next door. He was sure he wouldn't be scared to climb that high if he were a real firefighter like Captain Jack. Look how high he's climbing. When Captain Jack came down, he said to Jason he could sit in the driver's seat of engine number 1. Captain Jack helped him up. The seat was high, and the steering wheel was big. Next, it was Camilla's turn. Jason didn't mind because it was his turn to sit in the driver's seat of engine number 2. Jason felt like a real firefighter. When it was time to go, Jason wore a fire helmet of his very own. He carried a big red balloon with a picture of a fire engine on it. As soon as Jason got home, he wanted to play with his red toy ladder truck, but he couldn't find it, so he got busy. Before long, the toy ladder truck was parked outside a firehouse made of blocks. Everything was in its place. That night, Jason dreamed of beautiful, big, red, shiny fire engines racing through the night, lights flashing, sirens wailing, and he was the driver, sitting right next to Captain Jack. Isn't that nice? Do you want to be a firefighter when you grow up? The second one is called Library Day, and this is by Anne Rockwell, but it's illustrated by her daughter Lizzy. This one's special because I work at the library. On Saturday, I go to the new library with my father. It's the first time we've been there. Before we go inside, we drop the books he borrowed through the slot. I hear them thump in the bin where they land. My father brings me to the children's room for story hour. He tells me he will go to the grown-up shelves to look for a new book. There are 2 boys and 3 girls sitting in a circle. I sit next to the boy who has a green shirt on. I've seen him at the playground. The librarian says hello and tells us her name is Mrs. Edmonds. Then she reads us the 3 sillies. I'm Miss Hannah, not Mrs. Edmonds. After Mrs. Edmonds is done, she introduces Mr. Miguel. He reads us a story from his homeland of Puerto Rico. It's about a donkey named Senor Burro. We all listen carefully, except when we laugh. It's funny when Mr. Miguel goes, "Ee-haw! Ee-haw!" as loud as he can. When story hour is finished, the boy in the green shirt tells me his name is Jack. I tell him my name is Don. Now we have to go look at the cool things in the library. I thought there were just books there, but Jack shows me a shelf with movies and a rack with magazines in the corner. Did you know there's a lot of stuff in the library? I like a magazine about dogs because there's an article about a puppy who looks just like our dog Reggie did when he was a puppy. I also find a magazine about rabbits and chickens and farm animals. After After I put the magazines back, I go to a low shelf with picture books. I take a book with a tiger in the front. Mr. Miguel shows me a book. He says, "It looks like you like books about animals. Maybe you'd like this one. A boy in this book has a snake for a pet." I show him the book about a big red truck. "I like this one too," I say. "You could take them all home," Mr. Miguel says. Next to the picture book bin, there's a baby sitting on the floor with lots of books to read, except the baby is reading a book upside down. She goes, "Goo goo gag ba boo." Then she turns the page, but her book is still upside down. Isn't that silly? Jack has gone home, but I have time to explore. Across the room, some boys and girls are playing chess quietly. A big boy is sitting at a computer. 2 girls are making bookmarks. So many things you can do at a library. I look through 3 books again. Then the librarian's helper puts new book on the shelf. It's about apples and pumpkins. Hey, I like apples. I like pumpkins. I bet I'll like this book. It says Apples and Pumpkins by Anne Rockwell. Just then my father comes in the children's room. I ask him if I can take these 4 books. He says yes. Then he says, "But you'll need your own library card." My own library card! We walk to the front desk. We hand our books to Mrs. Edmonds. My father says I would like my own card. Mrs. Edmonds smiles and says I could see he's a real reader. I tell her my full name and where I live. We wait a few minutes while the lights on our machine go on and off and on and off as it rumbles. You can get your own library card too. "Here you are, Dawn," she says. She hands me my card with my own name written on the back. Mrs. Edmonds scans the barcode on the books with her green light and reminds me to return them in 2 weeks. Outside the door, there's a poster of a puppet that shows the Gingerbread Man. We read stories about the Gingerbread Man, didn't we? My father reads it to me and asks, "Would you like to go see a puppet show next Saturday?" "I sure would," I say. I take my father's hand as we cross the street and head home. The end. Would you like to go on an adventure with me and see our library? You would? Let's go! Welcome to Outside with us. As you can see, we're getting ready to take a walk. We thought you might like to walk and see some of the places in our town that we're reading about. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready? All right, if we're all ready, then we're going to go take a walk, and you can join us on our walk. Welcome to my town of Lions. You see the water tower right back there? Let me see if I can get a better view of it. Hold on. There's my water tower. That's my city. In our city, we have what's called the square, where a lot of the businesses go around. The big square in the middle of the town. And you can see the big courthouse here. My kids call it the Clock Factory because it reminds them of Daniel Tiger. And we'll go over to the library here in a second. Come and join us. This is the entrance to our library in town. Isn't that a nice statue there? We're going to go in now. Everybody ready? This is our library in Lyons, Kansas. Isn't it pretty? It's full of so many books. One thing that my kids like to do is put away the books into the big tub. So can you guys reach up and put the books in the tub? I know it's hard now. All right, grab all the books, Samuel. Put them in the tub. One more. Our big word for the month is a double, author and illustrator. Now we do this one a little different, do you remember? We start with in a book. Here we go. In a book, the author writes the words and the illustrator colors the pictures. 2 more times. Ready? Do it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. In a book, the author writes the words and the illustrator colors the pictures. One more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. In a book, the author writes the words and the illustrator colors the pictures. Let's go see our craft. Let's go. A fun craft for you to do today would be to draw a map of your own town. And maybe put some landmarks on it. Like, here's some things in my town. Here's my house right here. There's me right there. And I live not too far away from a school, and there's a school bus in front of it. And right next to school is a park. Here's the swimming pool down here, and here's the library in my town. Maybe you can draw a picture for me and show me all the fun things in your town. Well, we'll see you next time with a brand new big word. Have a great day. Goodbye.